The show. Hi, I'm Randy Jeffers, and we are live from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, we have a really special show for you today. We have with us Julie Davis, and Julie is the founder and the CEO of Lifestyle Cell Therapy. And this is a really exciting, I can't wait to be talking to you today, because this is an exciting new part of the medical community, and we're talking about stem cells, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Lifestyle. How long has it been in business?
Lifestyle has been in business since December of 2016.
Wow. Okay.
So not very long. We're in our infancy in this particular project, but have spent the last 8 months researching, dissecting, and finding out what stem cells were all about.
Well, there's a lot of press, a lot of people talking about stem cells, and it's one of those things, it just seems like it is the answer. When you have a medical issue of some kind, it seems like stem cells are the answer. Is that really true, or is it a part of the answer?
It's a part of the answer, because it's part of the whole body wellness. People, even if they have stem cell therapy, they still need to live a healthy life. They still need to eat right, they still need to sleep, they still need to exercise. It's not a bulletproof vest. You still have to take care of yourself.
Yeah, well, nutritionists have been telling us for a long time, we really are what we eat, right? And
that's true. Well, stem cell therapy, besides helping different conditions that people have, is a great anti-aging solution, because your hair, your skin, they all reflect how your internal organs are behaving. Are they healthy? Are they diseased? Are they in danger of something? And your skin and your hair will reflect that in your nails. So if you want the best anti-aging medicine or the best anti-aging cream out there, start with stem cell therapy and start with the inside to reflect on the outside.
Okay. Well, I want to hear a little bit about Lifestyle and the product that you have. But before we do that, tell me about the kinds of medical conditions that stem cells really can work well with.
Well, since stem cells basically take your body back to its natural balance, it helps just about any kind of condition there is. We don't call it a cure, and we don't guarantee any results, because if we treat 100 million patients, we're going to have 100 million results, because how everybody accepts and processes and the benefits each person has is going to be different. So you need to keep that in mind. It's going to depend on your age, your weight, what is your general health, how long have you had your condition, how many conditions are you trying to treat, what are the stages of these conditions. So that's why it's going to differ for every single person. So I want to make sure that people understand stem cell therapy is not a cure for anything. There's no guaranteed results for anything. But the good thing about it is it's not going to hurt anybody. The type of product that we use, we get it from the umbilical cord of a healthy live-born baby. So the worst side effect that our patients have ever had is mild flu-like symptoms for a day or two, and then it just goes away. So that's the worst side effect that we've had. So even if you don't have the miracle results you're looking for, there's still going to be a benefit to your body whether you can see it or not, because it's restoring that balance. One of the things that the stem cells, what they do is they help with the immune system, and they're great for anti-inflammatory. So a lot of people use it before and after surgeries, whether it's dental work or some kind of surgical procedure, or if you have any other kind of inflammation in your body, because inflammation won't stay in just the area. Let's say you tweak your knee and now it's all inflamed. Those inflammation markers don't just stay in your kneecap, they travel throughout your entire body. You might not realize it, because the pain is in your kneecap, but it's also affecting the rest of your body. So by doing stem cell therapy and regenerative cell therapy, it helps reduce that inflammation, allowing your body to heal the way your body's supposed to heal.
What are some of the things, I hear about all these miraculous sort of things that have happened because people have taken stem cells, and what's been your experience? What are some of the really great things that have happened to people?
Well, let's start it with my personal one.
Yep.
The reason I got involved in stem cell therapy in the first place is because I own a marketing and advertising company. And a friend came to me and said that she'd been introduced to this. She wanted to put together a company doing it. And I told her, I've only got 2 weeks, but since you're my friend, I will help you with this. So I spent that 2 weeks doing the research and the studies. And at the end of the 2 weeks, I realized this is something I needed to get involved with. When I saw the benefits and when I saw how many people and how many conditions it's helping, I knew that I needed to educate the public on the goods, the bads, and the uglies of stem cell therapy, what it does, what it doesn't do, what it is, what it isn't, and not just on the umbilical cord stem cells like we use, but what are the other types of stem cell therapies out there. So I decided I needed to climb on board and educate the public, but to do that, I needed to use it. I needed to see what it was all about. I needed to know firsthand, am I going to have a side effect? I always tell people that if there's a 1% chance something's not going to work, I'm that 1%. I'm always that odd man out. You know, it's not going to work for me. So about 4 years ago, I'd been in a car accident. I was stopped for traffic, and the lady behind me didn't know I had stopped. So she rear-ended me doing 45 miles an hour and snapped my neck, and I ended up with a concussion on all 4 sides of my brain and dislocated discs in my neck. 28 years ago, I tore my rotator cuff in a different car accident, so I had pain in my neck. I had a migraine every single day since the last car accident, and the migraines were what they call basilar migraines. So when they get really bad, these twinkles, they would start here at the side of my eyes and go across, so I couldn't see at all. It's like looking through a kaleidoscope.
Wow.
In addition to that, I would slur my speech. It was like mimicking a stroke. So I would talk like I had a stroke and I couldn't see. So it makes it really kind of hard to function. Plus the pain. Pain in my neck, pain in my back, pain in my shoulder. I was a walking mess. So I said, all right, let me give it a try. So I did the IV infusion of the product and didn't expect any results, just hoping it would take the edge off my migraines. And it was about 48 hours later, and my migraine was gone. I still had a headache, but my migraine was gone.
Wow.
And I thought, well, I can live with this. That is so much better than it's been in 4 years. And then by the end of the week, my migraine was completely gone, and it has not come back. And it's been since April, so 5 months, and I've not had the migraine. My neck pain's gone, my rotator cuff is not popping and grinding, and my back doesn't hurt anymore. So I'm a walking, talking testimonial. It's another reason why I said, I've got to get this out to people. We've treated patients who have had MS. We have a lady, she's got young children. She's had MS, a severe case of MS for many years now. Makes it kind of hard to function and take care of her children. And she said that one of the things that bothered her the most was the brain fog that comes with MS. So we did an IV infusion for her as well. And I think it took about a week, and she called us all excited because her brain fog was gone. She said, I can think clearly now, and it has been years since I could do that. About 30 days later, we did another therapy on her. We did another IV infusion on her. And at that time, she was still having a hard time walking without a cane or without a walker. And just a few days after the infusion, she was walking without her cane. She was sending us texts and so excited. And so, I mean, those are just a couple examples.
My goodness. Well, let's do a little commercial for your company right now.
Okay.
Lifestyle Cell Therapy, right?
Yes.
And you're headquartered in Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas, yes.
Uh-huh. And what makes your product better than, because there's a lot of, it's sort of a buzzword now, and you get people that talk, they're especially like nutraceuticals. You have people that are using plant-based kinds of things, and they're passing them off as stem cells. They're really not stem cells, but they're using the word, right?
Well, it actually is a plant stem cell.
It's a plant stem cell. It's not like what we're talking about.
And there's animal stem cells too, and people have heard of using sheep and pigs and things like that. But besides the umbilical cord stem cells, there's the most common one that everybody knows, which is from your bone marrow. When you heard of bone marrow transplants,
right?
And you have to find a matching donor to do that. If you want to use your own bone marrow, your own stem cells from the blood in your bone, the bone marrow, you can do that. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's I'm not trying to talk bad about any other types because they all have their place. Mm-hmm. But with bone marrow stem cells, it's very invasive. They have to go into your bone and suck out the stem cells. Yeah. And so not only is it invasive, but it's painful, and it's very technician dependent. And you never know how many stem cells you're going to get from a particular location. So there's no guarantee that you're going to go through this pain and extract those stem cells and have anything that's viable. And it's extremely costly. I mean, $15,000, $20,000 and up. That's just here in the United States. Then you've got your adipose stem cells. That comes from your fat. So that's like doing liposuction. So they liposuction it out, whether from your belly or your hip or wherever they're getting it from. They take that fat, and then they're going to spin it around in a centrifuge, separate the stem cells from the fat, add a chemical enzyme to it, and then they inject it back into you. Once again, it has its beneficial properties to that. But that goes from one person back into that same person again. So there's downtime for that. There's recovery time for that. The therapy for that starts at about $15,000 here in the United States. I know somebody who went to Europe just last month, paid $50,000 for it. But here's what I'm thinking. The reason we like the umbilical cord stem cells is because there's no risk to the mother or to the baby. It's a product that is normally discarded. So
it's the cord you clip, right?
It's the cord that you clip. That's exactly right.
They throw it away.
And they throw it away. So they're asked if they would like to harvest it and keep it for their child and store it. And if they don't, we ask them if they would like to store it. Or if they'd like to donate it. And if they would like to donate it, we do a medical background on the mother while she's still pregnant. We make sure that she doesn't have any diseases and anything like that while she's pregnant. Then when the baby's born and the umbilical cord's collected and the blood's collected, it's tested again for diseases and things like that. So we have a strict program on making sure that the cord blood and the cord tissue is healthy. We only get it from the United States. We don't get any of our umbilical cords from out of the country. They're all American-born babies.
Fully tested.
Fully tested, at least 2, if not 3 times.
Yeah.
And then, so with the adipose, as I said, the fat, that starts at $15,000 and goes up. But with the umbilical cord, one of the reasons I got involved, besides wanting to educate people, is I wanted to make sure that we could offer it to them at as affordable price as possible. There are other people out there doing umbilical cord blood, and they're starting at around $15,000 for a lower dose product than what we sell ours for. Our packages range anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000 for the top of the line, and it's all inclusive. It includes everything: your consultation, your therapy, the product, the taxes. It's turnkey. It takes 20 minutes or less to do an IV infusion or a local injection into your joint, so you could do it on your lunch hour and go right back to work. There's no downtime, there's no recovery time. We use umbilical cord stem cells because they're the healthiest. I mean, the umbilical cord blood is the baby's blood, and it's been there for 9 months, untainted by the world. It doesn't have any toxins in it. It doesn't have any thing that the world's going to bring in, any of the viruses. It doesn't have any of the pollutions that if you were to suck my fat out, I'm a grandmama, so I got old fat. I have old fat.
You don't look like you have too much fat.
But it's old. What I have is old. So why would I want my own stem cells back in me? I want something young and viable, and you can't get any younger, healthier, more viable than a baby.
Excellent. Well, if somebody's watching us right now and they're saying to themselves, I've got to get a hold of this lady and I got to find out more, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, you can go to our website at www.lifestylecelltherapy.com. We've got a contact us form on there, or you can reach out and you can give us a call at 702-919-0111. That's our office number. You can email us at info@lifestylecelltherapy.
Excellent. Now, for those of you who didn't get that, we'll repeat it a little bit. So go get your pencil and a piece of paper, because you're going to want to write that down. You're definitely going to want to get a hold of Julie, and you have a whole team of people that are involved, not just you. But can they call you directly? Is it possible to get a hold of you?
Well, that's the office line, and I'm there in that office. So if they need me, they can get me.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's excellent. So if I'm watching this program right now and I have something wrong with me, that I have a medical condition of some kind, what kinds of things could I have that stem cells would work for? Would it help pretty much anything, or
it's really good for any kind of autoimmune disease. It's really good for any disease or inflammation like I was talking about. But if you want to get stem cell therapy, the very first thing that you want to do is make an appointment with your doctor for your annual checkup if you haven't done it.
Right.
He or she should run your lab work. They should do an MRI or an X-ray or an ultrasound if you've got something specific going on. Because even though it wouldn't hurt you, we don't want to do any kind of therapy without knowing what we're dealing with.
Right.
So you can use one of our doctors that we've registered, or we can start with your doctor, wherever your comfort zone is. If your doctor is not registered with us and you want to do the stem cell therapy, then we'll talk to your doctor and see if we can get them registered and trained and with us, so that way they know what they're doing when it comes to your stem cell therapy. But the first place to start is know exactly what you're dealing with. Go beyond just how you're feeling and what is factual.
Yeah.
So get your checkup, get the lab work, get your x-rays, get your MRIs, so that way whatever doctor we put you in front of has the correct information to know how to truly treat you.
But, you know, I've known people that have had knee problems, for instance, and you know the knee surgery is a nasty surgery.
It is.
You know, they've improved it now, but it used to be they would just big long gashes. You know, the surgery was just terrible and leave big scars and everything. But I've known people now that where it would have taken a surgery not too very long ago, and now it's just a matter of a little injection of some stem cells, and it seems to just fix it. You know,
Well,
it's just amazing.
It can and it can't. And once again, we go back to how long have you had this condition and how much damage is there.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple things going on here. We've got two different products. One is designed specifically for an IV infusion.
Okay.
And the other one is designed specifically for a local injection, like the knee, the shoulder, the hip, something like that, because it's got scaffolding properties in it that help rebuild and repair that tissue and things like that. One of the reasons you'd want to have a local injection is there's not a lot of blood flow to those areas. So when you do an IV, it's going to go all the way through your blood. It's going to go in, it's going to start with your heart and then go to your lungs and go to your other organs, and that's the beauty of an IV. It goes where it's needed. The beauty of a local injection, let's say I've got a torn rotator cuff, let's say it's a torn ACL in my kneecap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've got this inflammation and I've got this pain. So I would want to do a local injection into that, so that way those stem cells congregate in that specific area to help start regenerating that. Now, to be honest about the local injection and joint injuries and repairs, that's not something that happens overnight at all. I mean, think of how long you've had the condition,
Mm-hmm.
think of how much stress and impact and damage you've done to it.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some time to rebuild that. Some people start seeing a result in a month or two. Some people it takes 6 months. Some people need multiple injections, like every 30 days, to keep that repair going on. But even if you're going to have a local injection, it's always best to do the injection and an IV. Because if you've got other things going on in your body, remember when I said the inflammation markers don't stay at your knee?
Mm-hmm.
They filter throughout your body. You might have things going on with your other organs you're not even aware of.
Sure.
So if you do an IV, that's taking care of that, and then you got the local injection taking care of your knee.
So how would I know how much I should take?
Well, that goes to your doctor. So we base a handful of things on that. First of all, what is your budget? Because unfortunately, stem cell therapy is not covered by insurance unless there's specific cases that it is, but in general, it's not covered. So it is a cash product and
Right.
therapy. But it's still cheaper than having a hip replacement or a knee replacement. It's still a lot cheaper without the recovery or downtime. So a lot of it depends on your budget, you know. But some stem cells are better than no stem cells. So if you have a limited budget, start out smaller if you need to. The second thing, determining how many stem cells you need, is, once again, we're going to go back to your age, your weight, your general health, how many conditions you have, how long have you had them for. And then your doctor should be the one that's prescribing that for you. But in general, the majority of our patients who are just starting out start with a minimum of 60 million live cells.
Mm-hmm.
They've got stem cells in there, and they've got other regenerative cells in there. The regenerative cells are like the worker bees, and the stem cells are like the queen bee, you know, and you need them both to make sure that they're working properly to do the things that they need. So to tell a wide audience of how many they need is inappropriate, because it's a case-by-case basis what you're going to need and how often you need it. Some people just need one therapy. Other people need it every 30 days. Some people do it twice a year. And there are a lot of people that do it just to be proactive. I had a gentleman on a webinar last night text me a question, said, I'm 50 years old and relatively healthy. Should I use stem cell therapy? And the answer was absolutely yes. If you've got the funds to do that and you want to maintain your health, this will keep your organs in your body balanced to prevent future injuries and future disease.
Oh, that's great. Well, I know one of the really important reasons would be for anti-aging, right? You hear a lot about that. And how does that work with stem cells?
So are you talking about anti-aging and the wrinkles that I have? Or are you talking about anti-aging and my...
I don't see any wrinkles there.
Well, so you need your contacts in, but anyway.
Can you actually live longer by taking
Yes.
stem cells?
Well, yes, if your organs, as we age, because here's how it works. When we're born, 1 out of every 10,000 cells in our body is a stem cell.
1 out of every 10,000.
Mhm.
Okay.
By the time we hit 50, 1 out of every 450,000 is a stem cell. And by the time we're 80, 1 out of every 2 million is a stem cell.
Wow.
Now, one of the things we haven't covered is exactly what is a stem cell, because that's very important.
That's a great question.
Glad I asked. So,
Let me ask you this great question.
so what a stem cell is, we have about 220 kinds of cells in our body. We've got skin cells and heart cells and liver cells, and one of those 220 cells is a stem cell. Stem cells are in us from the day that we're born. And a stem cell has the ability to become any other kind of cell. So when we have a cell or an organ or an area of our body that's diseased or dying or damaged, it sends out a chemical signal. And it calls all these cells to that area to repair that area. But if you have inflammation, it's blocking that chemical signal, so your body doesn't repair. And as I told you, by the time we're 50, we only have 1 out of every 450,000.
Wow.
That explains why when somebody's 2 years old and they fall and they break their arm, you know, a month later they're back on the playground like nothing ever happened. If I fell and broke my arm, it would take me a couple of years to fully heal.
Yeah.
And it would ache and bother me for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Because I don't have those stem cells. So our philosophy is simple. We just replace those stem cells that as we age, our body is not producing anymore. So it's very simple process and very simple philosophy. So when it comes to anti-aging, you notice that a lot of older people don't recover from illnesses as well, whether it's a cold or the flu or something else they get. It's once again because they don't have that balance in their body, and they don't have that stem cell supply in their body to fight off things that a younger person can fight off. So anti-aging, let's talk about the skin and the wrinkles that I have. You can do stem cell therapy through an IV, and it is going to benefit your skin, it's going to benefit your hair and your nails. Like I said earlier, not only because it's taking care of your inner body, so your outer body reflects that, but it helps build your collagen and things like that. So it's not going to be an overnight fix again, but you'll start seeing that you have tighter, firmer skin. You'll start seeing you have less wrinkles. You'll start seeing that you have less dark spots. And once again, you know how many therapies an individual needs versus another individual? Depends on that individual.
So if, let's say I have some sort of an issue with my kidney and I don't know about it, and so I take an IV, how do I know that it's going to go to my kidney and work on it, or is it going to go everywhere?
Because stem cells are smarter than we are. So what they do is when you have the IV, it's going to go to your heart first. Your heart's going to take what it needs first. And then what's left over goes to your lungs. Then your lungs are going to take what they need. Now your lungs actually take a lot of the stem cells because of the pollution that we are exposed to every single day. So whether you know it or not, whether you're a smoker or not, your lungs are always trying to repair themselves because of what we're breathing in and things like that. And then what's left over goes to your next organ and your next organ and your next organ.
So it's sort of an order that they go.
It's going to flow through. It really is.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So and it depends on, remember I told you those little chemicals your body's sending out saying help me? So if your heart is healthy, you're in good condition, then you get more go to your lungs. Your lungs are good, you know, you're not a smoker and you're not working in a casino and all these things, then you got more that goes to your other organs. So it will go to your organs, it'll go to your kidney because your kidney is sending out a signal saying, I need help. So the stem cells, they rush to the rescue. So the number of live cells you have is very important. Let's say you only have 30 or 60 million, and you do have a heart problem you don't know about. Or you do work in a casino every day, so your lungs are always under that stress. So you're going to want to have a higher number of live cells, so there's leftovers to go to your next organs.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, let's do another commercial for lifestyle cell therapy. That's a tongue twister.
It is.
So to get a hold of you and to find out more information, how do they do that once again?
Okay, you can go to our website, www.lifestylecelltherapy.com. We have a contact us form on there you can fill out, and we'll reply within 48, 72 hours, depending if it's a weekend. You can give us a call at 702-919-0111 Pacific Time. And you can email us at info@lifestylecelltherapy.com.
Now let's talk about the stem cells that come from the cord. So they're called cord blood stem cells, right?
Yes.
Now, there are a number of companies that provide cord blood cells, stem cells, but they're not all the same, are they?
They aren't. What makes us different?
What makes you different? Yeah.
Well, I've used a handful of them. I've used a couple different labs, and I've traveled around the West Coast visiting different labs to see what they did and what they didn't do, because I was trying to get educated.
Sure.
And the ones that use the umbilical cord blood, a lot of them, there's a serum that's in that blood. A lot of them remove that serum, and they use it actually for their cosmetic lines, and they don't give it to you in your IV infusion.
Wow.
And it's a very important part of the regenerative process. First of all, we leave that in. We leave that serum in. So not only do we use the stem cells from the umbilical cord blood, but we use the stem cells from the umbilical cord tissue because they're even more powerful than the cord blood. And then we add the stem cells and the regenerative cells from the amniotic membrane as well, all from the same baby. So with that combination, that gives us a higher live stem cell count than a lot of the other companies and a lot of the other products out there. We're 200% higher than a lot of companies out there.
So let's just say I'm, somebody like me. I really don't have any health issues that I know of. I feel great. I get up every morning. I just feel awesome, but I don't know really if there's something going on inside of me. None of us know that, right? There could be something happening.
There could be, especially as we age. The odds are against us that something's going on, and we just don't know about it until our body reflects that. So it could be building up to that point, and we don't know until it's too late.
Exactly.
To reverse that process. Or we've got to have surgery, or we've got to have something going on. So to do the preventative stem cell therapy is very important. So if you have the funds and you want to stay healthy, believe me, trying to treat diseases and conditions, even if you have health insurance, can be very expensive.
Yeah.
So even though stem cell therapy might seem like it's expensive, when you consider your overall health and what will cost you as you go down the road, it's really nothing. And one of the things that I like, as I was saying, you were talking about your knee surgery or shoulder surgery. A lot of people will do both. Their knee might be to a point where they do have to have surgery or replacement or whatever. They're just waited too long, and that's where they are. But a lot of people will do the stem cell therapy in conjunction with the surgery so that their recovery time is a lot less. So it's important.
Yeah. So give me an idea of what the cost would be. Let's say that for somebody like me, once again, and I just want to maintain those more stem cells than what I would normally have, and which was going to help me to live longer, hopefully, and healthier and more productive. What kind of costs would be associated for me?
Well, as I said, for our packages, all inclusive, includes everything. Anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000. Now you can go over $7,000 if you've got a really severe condition. You want to start doubling up your doses and things like that. Really increasing, because we can go from anywhere from 15 million to 120 million plus live cells.
Okay.
Our average customer does about 60 million. So when I say 120 million, we can actually do way more than that.
Wow.
But if you wanted to double it, our packages go from 15 million to 60 million. But we can also double up if you're in a severe state and you're running out of time. The best thing to do is to double up, get as many stem cells in you as soon as possible, and then repeat that therapy as often as possible according to the recommendation of your doctor.
So I'm better off to get more right up front, as opposed to spreading it out over the course of a year, let's say.
You are. And here's the cool thing about stem cells is a lot of stem cells will duplicate, they'll split off and create additional stem cells. But when you have our stem cell therapy, it also calls all of the other stem cells you already have in your body into action. It's like it wakes them up, so that they start, doing what they're supposed to do in a more efficient manner. So the more stem cells you can get will activate more stem cells that are already in your body, and especially if you've got a lot of conditions going on or something that's severe, you're going to want to treat it with as much as you possibly can.
Absolutely. Well, I want my stem cells to be awakened. And for those of you who are awakened and wide-eyed right now listening to Julie, once again, how do we get a hold of you?
You get a hold of us at www.lifestylecelltherapy.com. You can call us Pacific Time at 702-919-0111. or email us at info@lifestylecelltherapy.com.
Okay, under normal business hours for Pacific Time?
Yeah, we're open 8 to 6 Monday through Friday and 10 to 4 on Saturday.
Oh, even Saturday as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, what kinds of things would the average person not know about stem cells that we haven't talked about?
Well, a lot of people equate stem cell therapy with embryonic stem cell therapy. And that's where all the controversy is, because a lot of people have a religious problem with it and a moral problem with it. And
Sure.
it's truly understandable, because the way they get embryonic stem cells, they fertilize the egg, and then approximately 5 days after fertilization, they remove the stem cells. And that kills the egg. And that's where
They do this in a laboratory?
They do it in a laboratory, right. And then they...
So it actually, for those that believe in
Life at conception.
life at conception, then that's, you get a living
Exactly, and I
being.
understand that. It makes my heart hurt to the thought of it.
Yeah,
It really does. So embryonic stem cell therapy is not legal in the United States. Now, there are clinical trials that are legal because they're doing testing and things like that on it, but therapy on a person is not legal right now. So we don't do it. You'd have to go out of the country. But when you hear on the news about stem cell therapy creating tumors and things like that, most of that, well, I'd say 99.99999% gets traced back to embryonic stem cell therapy.
Okay, so that's not anything that we're talking about
It is
here.
not. So when people have this automatic reaction to stem cell therapy, thinking it's taboo or there's a moral problem with it, this is, as I said, no risk to the mother, no risk to the baby. It's something that's discarded anyway. And we just take the stem cell properties out of it and use it to help somebody else.
Okay. Now, as I understand, Lifestyle really is spreading the message with using doctors all around the country. And,
Well,
right?
Doctors and nurses.
Doctors and nurses.
And nurses.
Okay.
So if you're a doctor out there watching this and you'd like to incorporate stem cell therapy into your practice, we have a training program, a certification program, and Lifestyle Cell Therapy actually created the first ever medical malpractice policy for
Wow.
specifically for stem cell therapy.
Oh, you got to tell us about
So
that,
you
'cause
can-
I'm
you
sure
can
there's
get
some
it through
doctors
us.
wanna know.
So you get it through us as part of your Lifestyle Certified Network membership. And in that membership, you get trained and certified on the protocols for stem cell therapy, how to talk to your patients about it, how to do the protocols on administering the therapy. We have an advisory board, a medical advisory board that's always there at your disposal if you need help. On any specific question, on any specific condition. If we don't have the answer on a specific condition, we get the answer, we go to the experts, we get the information, so that you have the information that you need to correctly treat a patient. And there's a couple ways you can do it. You can buy the product from us and sell it to your own patient, or we'll sell the patient and we match them with you, and you get new patients into your practice. So there's a couple ways we can do that.
So that's really a no-brainer for doctors.
Well, it seems like it to me,
Yeah.
but
Seems like it to me.
I've talked to a lot of doctors. Some get it and some don't. So
Yeah.
it depends on what they're comfortable with.
So, because it's a cash business, because insurance doesn't cover for the most part stem cells.
Right.
It does for leukemia, I understand. It's
Right.
maybe a couple of other things, but
Because that's a bone marrow transplant.
so for a physician out there, that's probably a really good thing. Right.
Through our program,
Yeah.
they can make $40,000 to $60,000 extra each month
Wow.
by me sending them patients, and selling just a handful to their patients each month.
My goodness. Did you hear that, doctors? So call right now. Call Julie, and the number once again.
It's 702-919-0111. Give me 20 minutes to get back to the office before you call.
Oh my goodness. So if they are a doctor, then that's who you really want to talk to, because doctors are your customers, really.
Right, and if by chance they're in the Las Vegas area, I'm having a doctor dinner presentation on Wednesday, September 20th at 6:30. Give me a call, go to our website, register for it. We'd love to have you at that dinner presentation. We're going to have a couple guest speakers. We're going to have Dr. Joy Kong. Not only is she an MD who uses this therapy in her practice, but she worked with the lab to develop this product that we use.
Oh, wonderful.
And then we're going to have Dr. Rafael Gonzalez as a guest speaker as well. So if you're in the Las Vegas area, you're going to be here on September 20th. That's a Wednesday, 6:30 at night. We'd love to feed you dinner. We'd like to tell you what it's all about, answer any questions that you've got.
Great. Well, that's fabulous. And I would assume that if there's doctors listening in from, because this show airs all over the world actually, but if you're in another part of the country and you're a physician, I'm assuming that if they wanted to set up a dinner like that somebody would come out.
We'll absolutely travel to different cities. If we can't travel to the city, let's say there's just one of you instead of a group of doctors, we can do a video conference over the computer, over the internet, through Zoom or something like that, so we can meet face to face. We just can't touch and explain it to you. We do live presentations, live streaming presentations a couple times a week. We do webinars. We'll be putting the videos on our website. But you can always ask us any question that you have so that we can make sure somebody gets back to you. And then you get assigned a representative that takes care of you for the life of your relationship with us. So you're always dealing with one representative who can make sure that you've got what you need.
Well, let me ask you this, because most of us watching are not doctors. We're just regular people, right? And we may have something that's wrong with us that we know we want to try because maybe we've given up hope on traditional medicine. Can we buy directly from you?
A person, a regular
Yes.
consumer? No, you cannot.
Okay.
And the reason being is because the product, the stem cells, need to be stored frozen at a minus 85 degrees Celsius until 5 minutes before use.
Okay.
So most people do not have a medical grade freezer in their home.
No.
And then even if you did, you would still have to transport it to your doctor to use. So if you do the therapy, the product gets shipped directly to the doctor that's going to do the therapy, so we can make sure that you have the best quality possible.
So if someone that's watching doesn't have a doctor that is involved with stem cells, can you make a referral in their area?
We can. So what we do is we have them contact us. We still do our consultation, because the way the process works, somebody that's interested in stem cell therapy, what you're going to do is you're going to contact us, and then we're going to arrange a 30-minute stem cell consultation. If you're not here in Las Vegas, we'll do it through Zoom, we'll do it over the internet, so that way you can meet with us. Or if we have a consultant in your area, you'll sit down with that consultant. And we go through a little bit of history about your background. We get an overview of your medical history. We're not going to go into any details because we know that that's private, but we're going to get an overview. We're going to get some information from you about the conditions you want to treat, how many there are, how long you've had them, your general health, all of that. We'll go through the different packages that we have. And then if you still want to continue forward at that point, we find out if your doctor is registered with us, and if not, who your doctor currently is, because if you've got one, we're going to try to work with that doctor.
Oh, good.
And try to get that doctor registered and certified with us so that you can continue to use your doctor.
Perfect.
If your doctor's not registered with us, and if your doctor isn't interested in being registered with us, then we find you a doctor in your local area if you want, or you can always fly to Las Vegas and use one of our doctors here. Who doesn't want to come to Vegas and party?
Who
Have
doesn't
your
want to
therapy, go see a show on the Strip, you know?
That's right. They can come and see our show, right?
They can come see our show.
Well, that's really fabulous. Well, I know you're probably totally busy every day with the stem cell world, but what about Julie Davis herself? You mentioned you were a grandmother.
I'm telling you, anybody that knows me know I live for my grandkids, you know. Mason and Jenna and Amara are my grandkids, and
So you have 3.
oh, I've got 3 grandchildren, and I see them every day, and then I take them every weekend, and
Wow.
I have these big bounce houses that I put in the backyard, and Grandma gets out there with them, and their job is to tackle Grandma and try to get her out of the bounce house. They're all on. I live for my grandkids.
So you're a wild and crazy grandma.
Well, and that's why I need the stem cells, so that I can live long for my grandkids. I drive
Yes.
a Granny Vanny.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. What do you see happening in the whole stem cell world? What's it gonna be like in 4, 5, 6 years?
Okay, so I've talked to a lot of doctors, a lot of scientists, and I've actually talked to a lot of people in the insurance industry. As a matter of fact, the underwriters who wrote our stem cell policy for us out of Chicago, flew them in, talked to them, and everybody in either side of the coin here, they believe that within 5 years, stem cell therapy is going to be commonplace. It's going to be covered by insurance. Will it be covered in 5 years? Maybe not, but they'll be headed down that road for that.
Good.
It'll be commonplace because the more that the public learns about it, the better that it is. Now, unfortunately, there are companies out there that are doing it wrong. I'm not going to name any names or anything, but if you do stem cell therapy and it's not through Lifestyle, just make sure you check them out, because they're not all the same standards. They're not all compliant. They don't all have the same quality. They don't necessarily have your best interest at heart. They're just looking to sell a product. And there are good ones out there besides Lifestyle, but I think Lifestyle is the best because we purposely kept our prices low. We purposely are all about education. So when you have a consultation with us, we're going to educate you on adipose, on bone marrow, on embryonic, and on umbilical cord. We're not just going to tell you about ours. We want you to make an educated decision.
Sure.
We're hoping at the end of that consultation you understand why we think ours is the best, but it's still going to be up to you, because we want you comfortable with your health care. So our main goal is to make sure that we get you as healthy for as long as we possibly can.
Well, it sounds like you researched the competition really well. So if somebody's out there that maybe is already in process with a doctor or with, thinking along those lines, can they call you and see if they're on the right track? Or
They can.
Okay.
We would answer any questions that they would have, because that's what we're all about, is the education and making it available to as many people as possible.
Good. Well, once again, they can call you at what number?
You can call us at 702-919-0111 Pacific Time, or you can fill out our Contact Us form on our lifestylecelltherapy.com website, or you can send me an email at info@lifestylecelltherapy.com.
And the Pacific time is from 8, did you say 8 to 6?
8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then 10 to 4 on Saturday.
Okay, those are long hours.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, we know now what the stem cell world is going to be like in 4, 5, 6 years, but what's Julie Davis's life going to be like in 4, 5, 6 years?
Hopefully I'll be burning my butt on a beach in Hawaii. With my grandkids.
That's a good place to be.
With my grandkids.
So how old are your grandkids?
Mason is 8, and Jenna and Amara will both be turning 5. And Amara turns 5 this month, and Jenna turns 5 next month.
Now, are they all siblings? Or are they cousins? Or?
Jenna and Mason are brother and sister, and Amara is the cousin.
I see. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's fabulous.
So,
And have you taken them to Hawaii yet?
not yet. But I have another point to bring up. I know we've just got a few minutes left.
Please. Yeah,
But a lot of people ask me if we are FDA approved.
Okay.
And I think this is an important point before we go off the air here.
Sure.
I just want to let people know that we don't have to be FDA approved, because the FDA approves drugs and medical equipment. And what they consider a drug is anything that's more than minimally manipulated. And since our umbilical cord product is not more than minimally manipulated, we're not classified as a drug. So we are FDA compliant. The labs that we use are all FDA inspected and certified and compliant. So when people have that question about, ooh, you're not FDA approved, it's because we don't fall under that classification.
Good. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. And we only have about 2 minutes left. What have we not asked you that we really should know?
That you really should know. There's so much more to it that,
Sure.
that it's hard to do in a short period of time. But I think that people need to individually take a look at themselves, see where their health is, and see where they want to be in 5 or 10 years. Do I want to be around? Do I want to keep struggling with this condition every single day? If you know that stem cell therapy isn't going to hurt you, why not give it a try if you've got a condition that you haven't had satisfactory results from in the traditional medicine? If you don't want surgery and you don't want to be on pharmaceuticals the rest of your life, my suggestion is give it a shot. At least get educated. Set up a time for one of our consultations. It's not going to hurt you to do that. And if you decide not to move forward, at least you're educated.
Now, what's the cost for the consultation?
The consultation is $50,
Okay.
but it's a part of our package.
Okay.
So if you just have the consultation, it's going to cost you $50. If you have the consultation and buy a package, that consultation fee is applied to the package.
Oh, good. Well, that's fabulous. Well, Judy, I can't tell you how excited I am just to know this information, and to know that you are hard at work trying to change people's lives in incredibly positive ways through this new stem cell technology. It's just amazing.
Well, I hope everybody gets educated on it, whether they use it or not, I think it'll be good for them.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for being with us, and I can't wait to be talking to you again in another 6 months, a year, and just see what's happened.
Well, we'll have to get you the therapy.
Absolutely. Well, I guess I'm a good candidate for it.
Okay, I just want to say thank you to everybody that watched. We appreciate your time.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next week, same time, same station. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.